Hi everyone, this is a help video on polynomial vocabulary 1.1. Alright, so I look over here and here's my 1.1 assignment in Mr. Smith's Algebra 1 second period class. Alright, so I'm going to tap on that and it gives me naturally a fraction, but let's look at this. 5x to the fifth, I don't want red, gives me a negative 5x to the fifth plus 1 over 8 minus x to the fourth. Alright, and notice it asks me all these questions over here. It says the expression represents, what is that? With how many terms? And okay, terms, there's 3 terms, right? Because polynomials, the terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So there's 1, 2, there's 3 terms. Okay, so I got that part. The constant term is, okay, maybe I remember a constant is something with no variable, or maybe I don't. The leading term, I don't think I remember all this stuff because I put algebra in my rearview mirror. Okay, so what would I do? Well, luckily, I put a cheat sheet for you out on both CTLS and my blog. All right, and so if we look at this, it says you can name polynomials by the number of terms or by the power. All right, and so let's see, this represents a, well, of course, the first one they gave you was a 5, and we don't have a 5 here, but by process of elimination, we can see that it's got to be quintic, all right, which is 5. All right, and the constant term, so what's a constant? A constant is a number with no variable. All right, so the number with no variable here is 1/8. All right, so we're going to put in 1. When we make the divide sign, it makes a nice little fraction for you. 1 divided by 8. Okay, the leading term is, what is leading? Leading is the coefficient with the highest exponent. Okay, well that would be x to the fifth. And so the leading term is the whole thing with x to the fifth in it. All right, so I'm going to go back to my scratch paper. Okay, so this is going to be, so this is called the degree of this. So this is a 5th degree polynomial because it has a 5 in it. Anyway, the term with the highest exponent is called the leading term. All right, and the coefficient is called the leading coefficient. Coefficient. Okay, so in this case, the leading term is negative 5x to the 5th power, and the leading coefficient is what's in front of that, which is a negative 5. All right, so we're going to submit that answer. Do we think that's right? I think it is right. And it turns out to be right. Let's do a couple of more of these. They're actually pretty quick. All right, so the first thing we have to do is find the polynomial. Again, this has a 5 on it, so it's going to be that quintic one. All right, how many terms does it have? Well, if we look at this, there's a negative sign, a positive sign, a positive sign. So there are 4 terms in there. Okay, so there are 4 terms. All right, and then we have the constant term, so the one that doesn't change is a 1. All right, and then the leading term is the one with the highest exponent, which is a 5. All right, and so we need to put that whole term in, so it's 1, negative 1, and again, you put the divide sign in, it makes the fraction for you, which is nice. Then you put the arrow to get out from under it. And then we have an x, I'll put this thing up here, Then we have an x, and it's going to be to the 5th power. When I wanted to make something to the 2nd power, I just have to use this key, a squared, a to the 2nd power. If I want it to something else, I have to click this x to the b power and then put the number in, which is the 5 in this case. And the leading coefficient is this number out in front, 1 divided by 9. All right, so submit that answer. And is that what we want? Yeah, I think it is. All right, so we say yes. All right, I'm going to do one more. Whoops. Do one more. In this case, all right, what's the highest exponent is a 4. And over here we saw that if it's a 4, x to the 4th, that's x to the 4th is the highest one. It's called a quartic. All right, so nice. And how many terms does it have? Well, there's 2 plus signs, so there must be 3 terms. Okay, so there's 3 terms in there. The constant is a number with no variable. Well, that's the 2. And the leading coefficient is the one with the highest exponent. Now this one's a little tricky because you would think, oh, it's 6, but it's not, because that's an x cubed, and the 2nd term is actually the leading term from a math standpoint, because it has x to the 4th. So we're going to put that 2nd term in here, 1 divided by 8, arrow, x, and I have to put my own exponent in to the 4th. Okay, and the leading coefficient is what's in front of that, which is 1 divided by 8, 1/8. Submit that answer, and yes. All right, so those go pretty quick, and it just reminds you of all the different things that are on this little cheat sheet here. So as always, if you have problems with that, text or email me, and I can help you, or we could set something up where we had a little Zoom meeting and I showed you how to do it more specifically. Good luck with that.